Hello everybody and welcome back, where today it is my birthday. That's not linked to anything else in this video, I just thought I'd put it out there. But I thought I'd take today to talk about this, the PSVR2, and the headset as a platform, YouTube in general, and where we're going with this content. Other VR platforms as well that I'd like to talk about today. What plans do we have for the future? And to answer a big question I've had from you guys over the past year or so is why PSVR2 and whether I'll continue to cover PSVR2 or other platforms in the future. So let's have a little talk about YouTube, the algorithm, VR, and all things content creation and where we're headed. Before we do though, please feel free to like and subscribe. Only 25% of you are. As you probably know, I've been yapping on about it for about 2 weeks now, but it does help the channel grow genuinely, and if you like PSVR2, that is, as we'll talk about today, what we do mostly here. So to kick things off, why PSVR2? Well, it's the platform that really got me into VR properly. I'd played VR before, had time with the HTC Vive, Google Cardboard was a big step into VR for me as a kid, but PSVR 1 was where I first found my real footing into a platform I could really sink my teeth into. Quest was not a thing yet. I couldn't go out and buy one of those headsets that was standalone. I had to jump into PSVR 2 on the PS4 and I loved it. And since then, I've absolutely loved that platform. Throughout my journey on YouTube, I've covered it in multiple videos. Even before I did PSVR related content, I was doing normal gaming videos. Your classic Soviet Womble or Russian Badger style of videos. I was doing those for many years. Those are still on the channel in all their glory, all their episodes and all their datedness. And a couple of those are VR related games that I was playing on the PSVR 1. Past that on YouTube, I then covered Battlefield for a couple of years. I really enjoyed doing that. It was a little community, a lot smaller than we have now, maybe 3,000 people at its peak, but it was a lot of fun. I quickly realized there though I was covering one game, and that is kind of exhausting as a creator and also doesn't really give you ample opportunity to grow, especially in a space that's as saturated as the shooter market, let alone Battlefield on its own. And while I love that and still do cover shooter games and flat screen games, as we'll talk about a little bit more in depth in a second, I was kind of done with that after a while, especially when the game lost support. So when PSVR 2 rolled around, I was fully in on that. I wasn't planning on dedicating my channel to the platform or anything like that, but I was excited for it. So I made a singular video talking about the top 5 games I wanted to play when the headset came out, and that video really did well. From there, I didn't see that as kind of a money lighting up in the eyes sort of moment, but I thought, well, if people enjoy this and I enjoy this, I'm going to keep making videos on this, which is exactly what I did, and that's where we are today. Almost 13,000 people strong on the channel is a slightly crazy thing to have happened, and from there, that's the rest of the story. Still going on, still covering PSVR 2, and I've never felt better about content creation in my life. It's something that I'm really enjoying and something that I take time to do because it is fun. It's rewarding speaking to you guys about virtual reality each and every day, and I would not rather be doing anything else as a little side job. PSVR 2 as a platform though is limited in itself on YouTube. I mean, I know that it's growing all the time, but even the larger PSVR content creators have kind of like a cap on where they can grow. Not because of any limit of talent of the creator of themselves or anything like that, just because there's a user base of PSVR 2 users and you can only have so many subs because of that. Now that I've established everything that's happened in the past, where we're at now is that I'm enjoying making PSVR 2 content. That's for multiple reasons. One of them is the technical side of things. I'm a big tech guy. I love OLED as a technology. I think it's fantastic. That's a big reason I use PSVR 2 as my daily driver on PC and on PlayStation. It's a very large reason why I have this, which I'll talk about in an upcoming video. The Steam Deck OLED is a fantastic piece of kit and this screen is just amazing. And it's a big reason why I have this, which I'll be covering soon, which are the Ray Neo Air 2 S's. Similar to the last pair of AR glasses I've covered, these are OLED too. I love the tech and it's fantastic for virtual reality. That combined with haptics, which I think are fantastic, makes it my platform of choice. I'm not here because I think PSVR 2 is the most viable thing to extract the maximum amount of money out of the creator space. Frankly, I don't really care about that. I'm here because I like the platform, and when you're excited for games that are coming out, I'm excited for them too. And I hope that comes across in my content. That is one of the main reasons for me covering PSVR 2 mainly, and why I'll do it going into the future still. Another big reason is simply time. I'm also classed as a full-time student, so I'm on a course, I'm specializing in what I want to specialize in, and that does take up a lot of time. And I think if I diversify too much into other VR platforms, at least at the moment, that would simply be too much. Almost every single waking second outside of my studies is spent involved in VR in some way or another, whether it's playing, recording, editing, researching, or genuinely just getting involved with the community. There's a lot of time put into that, and don't get me wrong, 99% of the time it doesn't feel like work because it's fun and it's enjoyable and it's rewarding, but It does take a lot of time, and I don't think I'd really have enough time to get that deep into a VR platform alongside PSVR2. For example, if I wanted to get into Quest, it would be a little bit lighter than I'm in deep on PSVR2 because I simply don't have the time to get versed with everything coming out in that space. Similar for PCVR as well. So that's one of the main reasons why PSVR2 is the mainstay platform on this channel. However, I do want to cap this off by saying that's not a blanket rule all of the time. Sure, PSVR2 is what I mainly cover here, but I will cover other things as well. And a few commenters I've seen in the past have said that they'd prefer if I stuck to PSVR2 all of the time, and in a way, I kind of get that. That's what this channel is here for a lot of people, but ultimately, I think if I just stuck to doing that, that would be taking the U out of YouTube, because I want to cover other platforms too. Not just VR, but also flat screen occasionally. And this isn't some new scary thing. I've been doing this for a very long time. Alongside PSVR2, I've been covering Battlefield, I've been covering flat screen games like Warhammer Darktide, Space Marine, Halo Infinite. There's a whole host of games that I've covered on the channel, on flat and VR that haven't been PSVR2 related, but I think the current strategy, at least at the moment and for the foreseeable future, is to focus on PSVR2, where this community is that I'm really enjoying, and sprinkle in a couple of other videos as we go, just as it is now. Every now and then we'll jump into PCVR, and I'll make it blatantly clear when we're doing that and when we're doing flat screen, as not to confuse you guys, as maybe you have been in the past. Another way I kind of switch things up with the PSVR2 content alongside it as well is by releasing 2 videos in one day. When I can, I'll drop a video on a flat screen game maybe an hour before the PSVR2 video goes live, an hour after that. A good example of this was the last Halo Infinite update. I dropped that at 3 PM UK time, and then a normal PSVR2 review at 4 PM. That means that if you're here for PSVR2, there'll still be daily content for you, but I also have the freedom to explore other avenues in content creation alongside that without disrupting your usual programming if you're just here for PSVR2. Of course, that's applicable only when I'm able to, because sometimes I will simply be too tired or too busy to put up 2 videos in one day, so sometimes it may just be a flat video or a PCVR video with no PSVR2 video thrown in there, but most of the time, if I'm doing one, I'm doing both. Another whole avenue of that though is vlog style videos, which I've done in the past. Earlier this year, we went to Norway, I did a video traveling to Iceland, and I do actually have a second channel where I kind of film my travels a little bit, but I do like to share them here because some of you guys really do enjoy that content, even though it is a couple times a year, so it's not really worth mentioning too much. In terms of plans for that though, I'm heading over to Belgium for the Formula 1 and to Japan for a trip and the Formula 1 again next year. So I'll be sure to show some vlogs of those on the channel as well. But for the most part, PSVR2 is the mainstay here because I simply love the platform, and I think you all know that. And I wanted to take today to say that, as far as I'm concerned, for the foreseeable future at least, unless all PSVR2 releases are cancelled or nothing is announced over a massive period of time, and I've got nothing to cover, aside from that happening, it will be PSVR2 on the channel as it's always been. I just want to take this last bit of the video as well to say thank you for your continued support. It's always amazing to wake up to loads more comments, likes, subscribers, anything like that really just makes my day. So thank you all for supporting me on this little VR journey that we've got going on here. A massive thank you as well to our patrons and YouTube members who are on screen right now. I'm trying to experiment with trying to find different ways of displaying these guys' names that's not as boring as you're seeing right now. But to be honest, the way that I used to do it, which was reading them all out at the end of a video, was adding about a minute plus onto the length of some videos, which I think was a bit excessive just for the watch time with the viewers. So I'm currently workshopping some other options, but for now, please appreciate these people. They're amazing and they help the channel stay here day after day. So thank you all for watching, thank you to them, and I will luckily be chilling for the rest of today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.